G'day folks, Rod Moore here from the Selling Art Online video log. Welcome to the very first episode, and I thought I'd do this series on how to sell your art online and share a bit about my story of how I've gone from in 2012, barely being able to paint and not earning any income, not selling any art, to today where I've basically earned my full-time living, a six-figure plus income, based on the business that I've built around my art. So this series of video logs is going to just share with you my ideas, my story, what I've done, and how you as an artist can take what I've done and turn your art career around, or maybe if you're already earning some income from it, help your art career grow. So I'm a full-time artist today. I paint Australian landscapes in an impressionistic sort of style. And I run an online art school called More Art School, and a number of other ventures, all based around my art to help me earn an income from my art. So I've really focused in on building multiple streams of income. What led me down this path, and perhaps this is the reason why you're searching on YouTube or online for information on how to sell your art online. What led me down this path is back in 2012 was when I got serious about painting. I did my first oil painting November 2010, and I got really serious about becoming an artist and making that my living in early 2012. But what I recognised straight away was when I looked around at other artists and I became friends with a number of professional artists who've been, at the top of their game for 20 or 30 years, what I noticed was that the old model was starting to diminish. And that old model, of course, is getting into a good gallery, having that gallery represent you, running some, solo exhibitions with that gallery, and they basically did all the promotion. So the gallery would take care of sales. The artist would just spend all his time in his studio creating art. And that was the model that operated for, a long time. But I recognised that there was a shift going on, and I only had to look at industries like the taxi industry to see where Uber had come in and they were disrupting that industry. Technology was completely changing that industry. It was happening in every industry, the travel industry. Blockbuster went overnight from a multi-billion-dollar company. They disappeared because of Netflix, delivering it online. So internet technology was disrupting every industry that I looked at all around me. And I looked at it and I thought, the art industry is going in the same way. I think the art industry has taken a little bit longer for online and internet technology to really disrupt the industry, but I believe there's a momentum now that's shifted so much that you can't ignore selling your art online. So in 2012, what I recognised was, hey, I'm not a great artist. To be honest, in 2012, I wasn't that good. I was just starting out, and the style of art that I did was impressionist landscape Australian art, which not exactly in vogue. I followed a particular school, which is the Heidelberg School from the 1880s. It was a small group of Australian artists, very significant in that genre. But it wasn't exactly in vogue in 2012 or today, right? So I looked at it, I thought, I'm not very good as an artist at this point. And the style that I like to do is not that fashionable or in vogue. The chances of me getting into a gallery, being represented by a gallery or an agent, doing what I do is almost zero, because there are already so many other good Australian landscape artists ahead of me. Now, I don't know what genre you paint, but have a look at it, let's be realistic about what chance do you have in the old model. And I thought to myself, I have zero chance here. And, I know artists that have been in, professional artists for 30 years who've been in multiple galleries, and one by one those galleries closed, and the ones that didn't close, their sales dried up, okay? In 2012, there weren't a lot of people buying art online. It was starting to happen, but I could see that this is where the trend was going. So I set about on a plan, if you like, of building not just a way to sell my art, because I think that's too narrow-minded, it's too small thinking. If you think you're just going to throw a few pieces of art up on Facebook or on YouTube or eBay or Etsy and get sales, I think you're misguided. You need a bigger approach. You need a more well-rounded, holistic approach to building an art career, not just trying to get a few sales. So that's what I started out doing, and I started looking at, if I create a piece of art, how can I leverage that piece of art into not getting paid once for it when I sell it, but to be able to get multiple streams of income from every piece of art that I produce. And that was the way I was thinking. How do I build a business around my art and become an art entrepreneur? or the term that I like is ArtPreneur. So I set about on this journey, and over 5 years, and I have to say I was working a full-time job at the time, and there were periods during that 5 years where we had changes of life. My wife and I decided to move from Melbourne up to Queensland, and as a result of that, there was about a 12-month period where I had to pack up my studio. We were in sort of this transitional phase. I didn't do a lot with the business at that time or with my art. So realistically, I probably put in 3 years worth of part-time work to get to the position I'm in today. Now, two things happened. The first was my art improved. Painting regularly, naturally you're going to improve. And if you want to be a career artist, if you want to make a career out of it and earn an income from it, you have to adopt the attitude that, every day you're going to work towards improving your own art and the product that you deliver to the marketplace. You need to improve that, right? So I did that. And that happened naturally just because I kept painting and kept learning. The other thing that happened, of course, was that internet technology advanced so much that I built a platform for myself and an audience through the different avenues of my business. Okay, so I not only sell my paintings, but I also teach other artists how to learn to paint. I have continuity programs, so monthly membership type programs, licensing programs. So I have a range of different ways of earning an income. And what I did was built an audience, right, of people who followed me. So what I want you to start thinking about is, how do you use the technology that's available today in 2017 when I'm recording this and on into the future? The technology we have is unbelievable right now. In my next video log, I'll do a bit more detail about why now's the greatest time ever for artists. But how do I use that technology to grow an audience? That's where you want to be thinking right now. Now, I know a lot of artists out there have already got a website and they've got Facebook and they've done stuff on YouTube, and maybe they've tried eBay and Etsy and a few other things like that, right? I know you probably already tried that, but it's, they're tools. It's not about the tools that you use, although there are some tools that are better than others. It's not so much the tools, but how you use them. And that's what I've been focused on, is how do I utilize these tools to attract an audience of people who love me and my art. And that's a real key, right? They've got to fall in love with you and your art, not just your art. You need to become a person that they want to follow. And it makes it so much easier to sell your art as a result. So the first step, really, the way to start thinking is, how do I build an audience for what I do, who love me, love my art? And then how do I build a business around my art and that audience? If you can get that right, then you can earn a full-time living, as I've done, out of your art. I've been able to build a 6-figure plus business model through my art, and multiple streams of income, and leverage every piece of art that I do so I get paid not just once for it, but in multiple ways over time. Okay, so that's what you need to start thinking, is that bigger picture. And when you start applying an entrepreneurial mindset to your love of art and you bring the two together, you become an artpreneur. And if you can if you can become an artpreneur and think that way, then the sky's the limit. And there's people doing this. There are artists doing this, which I'll share with you in future video logs here on selling art online. But for now, I want you to start thinking, what's your vision? Where are you going to go with your art business in the next 2, 3, 5 years? And how are you going to build and attract an audience and use the tools that we have available today to get you there? Attract that audience and then build a business around it. I'll share more about these ideas with you in the future editions of this video log. If you'd like to see them, then subscribe to this channel, and make sure you check out www.sellingart.online, where I share a video which gives you an overview of the model that I've used. Hope to see you there. Cheers for now.